We are live.
Well, I imagine I won't be particularly complimentary of him, but I should start by thanking Kevin Clancy for giving us a show today.
It was a dry day for sure.
Nice and easy. Nothing else to talk about, so he made it nice and easy for us. It's good.
I love when that happens.
Oh, is he losing his mind? What's going on?
I have no idea. I feel like that was like 3 months ago.
So I asked this the last time I got into it with Kevin over the Nikki Glazer stuff. I always wonder. My relationship with Kevin Clancy is as follows. When I was an intern, he was unbelievably nice to me. He made fun of me on air. Like the bit when I got there was like he didn't think I was really blind. But at the time, he messaged me and was like, "Hope you're okay with this," that kind of stuff. Like very nice. Then when I started on Kirk's show, I took some swipes at him, and that's when he stopped liking me. And suddenly I was a moron, and he had never liked me. But at the beginning, there were a few times where I would get into it with him on Twitter or something, and then he would DM me and say like, "Hey, sorry about that. I actually see your side," which is very weird. He gave me the Nikki Glazer treatment just privately.
And now he thinks you're comparing him to Alex Jones.
Yeah. So the only reason I bring all that up is because I wonder, is Kevin Clancy helping me? Is he trying to help me out? Because he's tagging me in all these tweets. It's very weird. Is he giving me attention as like a here you go, kid?
Could be actually.
That's the only thing I can think of that makes sense as to why he's this worked up about these silly things.
That makes a lot of sense actually.
So
I didn't think of it.
Like we said last time, I'm glad he responded. Like I wasn't doing it for attention, but ultimately, in a way, I am because I'm glad he responded.
Yeah, it was PGA's fault.
It was this PGA Minahan. This guy, by the way, shout out to PGA Minahan. Gotten far clips he has tweeted have gotten far more attention. I can't even get my producers to cut clips. PGA is doing it for fun.
I haven't been on clip duty in like forever.
I know. You would think would have taken that mantle, but apparently not. So PGA has done a tremendous job at ratting me out. You weasel. Oh, it's funny. If Kevin was a man of his word, he'd be mad at PGA Minahan. Remember, he was mad at me for being a rat when I tattled on him for the Nikki Glazer stuff.
Yep.
He should be furious at PGA. That's the real villain here. Can you believe someone posted a video on social media? The gall.
When was that show? Was like actually what? A month ago? 3 weeks?
The Nikki Glazer thing?
No.
The clip. I'm sorry, the Alex Jones thing.
Yeah.
I said 3 weeks. I could be wrong, and based on when we release, we always release the episode like 5 days later.
True.
On to the RSS feed. So I don't exactly know when we recorded that, but I think at least 3 weeks ago. So I should set all this up because they tell me that some people aren't on Twitter, so you may not know what I'm talking about. Yes, let's go back to the beginning because I think this is where this starts. This is the real petty, childish part of it. So we got a reply. I tweeted out the podcast Monday, 2 days ago. And I just tweeted out the topics, none of which were KFC, but someone listened to the podcast. Do you remember? We referenced KFC for some reason. Do you remember why?
I don't know. We're talking about lunch. I really have no idea.
I don't remember why. I know we opened the floor to questions, so I'm guessing someone asked about him or something.
Oh, maybe.
Or, I mean, it's possible I just brought him up to shit on him. So, like, if that's what Kevin's accusing me of, guilty as charged, my friend. I have shit on you. Now, you're a public figure, so why you'd be mad at that is very strange. But yes, I do enjoy shitting on you the same way I enjoy shitting on Brendan Schaub or anyone else we make fun of, because you react like this, like you're fun to poke at.
Yeah, maybe he's just upset that someone he liked so much is now turned on him.
But I haven't.
You betrayed him.
I guess now I have. Yeah, now I have. Now I genuinely don't like the guy, but for a long time I did not when he thought I did. So posted the show the other day. I didn't tag Kevin or anything, but someone replied and said, Mike is spot on about Kevin. Like his interviewing style is he switches modes depending on who he's talking to.
I remember what we talked about.
What's that?
We were talking about him dressing like Malibu's Most Wanted.
Okay, yes. Someone in the comments mentioned there's some picture going around of him dressing up like Jamie Kennedy in Malibu's Most Wanted. So he talked about that, and I said, well, I'm sure that's the outfit he gets in when he has a black guest on. because he switches the way he talks. And we were referring to the Nikki Glip where he's like, hey, girl, damn, you making that music still? Like he goes into this smooth swagger, Kevin. And then sometimes when he's angry, talks like this. He hits his T's real hard, like he's Italian. So he has these different cadences based on who or what he's talking about. So someone on Twitter replied to the show tweet saying like Mike's spot on about Kevin. He switches modes based on who he's talking to. If he has a female guest on, he talks one way, and then if he has a black guest on, he switches the street mode, is what the guy said. Mm-hmm. Now, I took that as the guy making fun of Kevin, like street mode as in like the term Kevin would use. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of mocking him. That's how I read it.
Right.
So Kevin replies, street mode, you dorks. Which I don't really know what he's talking about. I don't know why we're dorks. Like he always ignores the thing you're making fun of him for and changes the argument, which we'll point out. But then Kevin did a weird thing where he posted a picture of him wearing Sean John standing next to
a gentleman,
a black guy who I assume was his friend.
It's on screen right now for everyone watching along.
Yeah, so explain that to me. Was that him saying like, see, I have a black friend?
No, I think honestly, being honest here.
Please. Because I don't understand it.
We were talking about how he was dressing, and I think he was just throwing the only picture he could find at the time.
No. That can't be it. Because he didn't listen to the podcast, I assume. He doesn't know we were talking about what he was dressing like. The tweet he was replying to was a guy talking about his interviewing style.
True. Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
So the only way I could take that was like, see, I have a black friend who, and that maybe that's his Sherpa that he turns to on racial issues.
Or he's just making fun of himself. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here because if he's actually mad,
that's possible.
Disappointed.
It's possible that he made fun of himself, was making fun. Maybe I didn't get it. Maybe that's just it, that I didn't get it. Because I replied to that and I said, not only does KFC bash dorks, but he has proven he has a black friend. So the cool meter is going off the charts.
It was very funny.
He didn't respond to that. So again, yeah, maybe that's me getting it wrong. I'm open to criticism here.
Well, but it's once again, like you started having fun with it and he just didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a weird thing. He has ripped off Portnoy in this battle. He has taken things that he thinks Portnoy would say to me, and he's just gone down that road. It's very weird.
I think you two would have a great show together.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm sure we would. KFC doesn't respect me. He doesn't think I'm talented, all of that. So we wouldn't enjoy doing a show together because he doesn't like me. Like, I don't think that would necessarily work. I'm sorry. Maybe it would work from the perspective of, like, we don't like each other. You know what I mean? But, like, as a show where it's, like, two guys shooting the shit, I don't know that would work.
I tried to get him to come on. No response. I saw that. Every time I send him a message like that, he doesn't respond.
Yeah, it's probably not the best way to book guests. Just tweet at him. Will you come on?
Well, I can't get a message to him.
Well, here's the thing. He's like, he wouldn't do this show because it's beneath him, which is weird. Because so when I say like he looks at me as beneath him, that's not the woe is me thing or anything like that. He literally said, you are a loser, you're a cockroach, you're a moron, this and that. So like he's saying that. It's not me projecting anything. Like he has inserted that into the argument for some reason.
It's also really good like wrestling promoter tactics.
Yeah, which again, maybe that's what he's doing. So the tweet that I was just referencing about him having a black friend. PGA Minahan with no text, right? It was just the video.
I think there was some text on.
I don't want to misquote them, but he posted a
Nope.
video from like 3 episodes or 3 weeks ago where I was shitting on KFC for his. What is that?
I was just pulling it up and it started playing by accident.
We don't have to play it. It's me shitting on KFC for his Alex Jones take, which I stand by.
But it wasn't even really shitting.
No, it was in a way. I mean, I was shitting on him. That was my intention because I called him a phony. So let's not pretend I didn't want to take shots at him. But my point was, he thinks I'm comparing him to Alex Jones, which I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm saying you're nothing like Alex Jones, which is why this should scare you, because that's what a slippery slope is. That's what a bad precedent is. It will affect people that aren't like Alex Jones. That's why people should be worried about it.
Right. And he was accused of saying Sandy Hook wasn't real. I'm still waiting to see. I don't think it was charged in court or anything, but I'm still waiting for this. Go to their house and harass them.
Yeah, so he didn't say any of that. So that's the crux of the argument is. And listen, I don't know what the fuck. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I've seen people on Twitter that are like, listen, I'm a lawyer. You don't know what you're talking about with defamation law. I'm willing to believe that's possible. I haven't boned up on defamation law lately. So I think that's certainly a possibility.
That makes a lot of us.
Yeah, but then I just can't have the argument if I'm like, well, I didn't pass the bar, you know. So
something about the name Mike.
Excuse me.
I said you didn't pass the bar, and I said something to do with the name Mike.
I guess so. So, all right, where are we here? Oh, well, this is where the puppet master gets involved.
Oh yeah,
this is where Kirk just sits upon his marionette chair and gets us to dance because he had no dog in the race or whatever the expression is. He just says, "Did I miss this blind Mike versus KFC War?" and tags us both.
No dog in the fight, I think is what you're looking for.
Yeah, whatever. so I don't promote dog fighting on this program. Yeah. So I just responded to him saying like, I think we have mentioned it before, but how could you forget this storied rivalry or something? Meaning like it's a one-sided thing. Like Kevin, I didn't think Kevin was going to respond to me. It's just me taking shots at him. Kevin sees that tweet and is like, oh, well, if Kirk wants a response, I'll give it to him. And then just tried to be Kirk in his response. That's how I took it anyways. So do we have his tweet?
The loser cockroach one?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one.
Which you could have heard us react to live while watching Quincy yesterday.
Oh, so this is the best part of all this. This took place. Yes, by the way, we missed a line. I was informed later. We missed a line due to all the melee here, the chaos. When you were telling me what was happening, we talked over Quincy saying, I don't know the context. We're going to have to go back and watch it. But Quincy, the episode was about a kid who was hurt. And, the suspicion is he was abused by his parents. And Quincy says, battered children is my business, and business is booming.
We talked over that.
We talked over the moment the whole thing has been culminating to. That's really, if we had heard that line, we would have tipped our caps and said, that's it on Quincy. We're going to wrap it up.
We're over. It's over.
But yeah, so while this is all happening, me and Craig are commenting on a season 2 episode of the show Quincy ME.
KFC says, Apple Eye Mike has always been a loser cockroach who survives by being part of the whack pack freaks for guys like Dave and Kirk. But equating anything I've ever said / joked about to the things Alex Jones did to those families is truly loser shit, you zero.
So I don't know what me being a loser has to do with the argument. That's where I think Kevin is kind of showing he doesn't have an argument and he doesn't believe in anything he said. Because if, let's say, Tim Dillon went into the studio, I don't know what Tim Dillon's take is on Alex Jones. Haven't heard it. No idea.
I think he likes.
Let's pretend. Just for a good laugh. let's pretend Tim Dillon says that. That's a bad precedent to set. You think KFC is calling him a loser and a moron?
No, but he even says in this is why I get confused. He says Alex Jones, don't compare him to the things Alex Jones did to those families.
Yeah, so Kevin doesn't know what happened, obviously, but he throws jokes in there, and then he later says that I never brought up stand-up. So he's bringing up things that he knows I've talked about in the past, but didn't talk about in this argument.
Mm-hmm.
So he says things like Mike's talking about jokes. No. I literally referenced people died in that Tiger Woods accident, right?
No, he just hit a tree himself, I think.
Okay. No one else was injured or died?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, either way, let's downgrade it then. But I referenced the Tiger Woods accident. KFC called it a hoax. And in his next tweet about it, someone said, like, hey, this is a fucked up thing to joke about. To which KFC replied, I'm not joking. And that's where I said, Kevin, shit like that can get you in trouble now. There's precedent for it. Not saying it should, not saying it's right, not saying it has anything to do with what Alex Jones said. But my only point was the comparison could be made. And you could also make the comparison that anytime Portnoy says, get this motherfucker or pop champagne over, someone's demise, when that person gets death threats, now the stoolies can get you in trouble. You see what I'm saying? That's the only comparison. I don't think you're anything like Alex Jones, you dumb fuck. Kevin keeps calling me a moron. He doesn't understand one thing I've said. He can't comprehend any possible argument. And what I was reacting to was him replying to his fans on Twitter. I didn't come up with this this fucking argument. I referenced something KFC was talking about on a public platform. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me.
All right. So I tried to have a little fun with it.
If anyone literally reads that as you comparing what you said to allegedly Alex Jones.
Here's the other thing. KFC's only seeing like this clip. And in the clip, I do say, like, I bring up the comparing Colin Kaepernick to ISIS or saying he's an ISIS, whatever he did.
Mm-hmm.
KFC was joking.
Right.
I'm well aware of that. So I was being purposely shitty by injecting that, kind of fucking around, but also, to take a dig at him. So he hears that and thinks I'm being real and saying like, oh, these jokes that KFC makes could now be taken literally. That's not what I was saying. I was literally referencing something you called a hoax, something that had someone's health, in the balance. They said that Tiger Woods was severely injured. You said it was a lie. Then you said, I'm not kidding. That's what I was referencing. Now, you shouldn't get in any trouble for that, of course. But the fact is, Alex Jones just did. And Kevin said, this is again where I'm not comparing you to Alex Jones. You're comparing you to Alex Jones, you dumb fuck, because I was reacting to Kevin saying, if I say anything close to that, you can deplatform me and I'll pay the money. So I said, Kev, all right, let's say they think you're 1% of Alex Jones. 450 grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be paying that out? I don't know what your wife took from you, but I don't know if you can afford just to fork over 450 grand for some dumb fucking thing you said. So that's what I'm talking about.
I don't think he's got the pen money yet, but it should be soon.
Well, then maybe he can afford it, But, all right. So I say, I make a joke saying like I would have responded to this quicker, but I was watching a 1978 episode of Quincy. Now, why would this man call me a loser? Something to that effect.
Right.
And then it went away. I tweeted one other thing about it because someone said like, here's what I think Mike is saying. He's not comparing you to Alex Jones. So I quote tweeted that and said, yeah, this was my only. It doesn't matter anymore because now it's become a different thing. But this is my only point. So now I'm defending a point I made 3 weeks ago.
The person said, I mean, by that logic, everyone at Barstool is financially responsible for all the death threats received by Portnoy, after Portnoy goes after somebody.
Exactly. Which they should not be. And in my mind, this case gives that precedent. Now, a lawyer might tell you not even close, and maybe they're right. And odds are, even if this does set a bad precedent, odds are no one's going to sue Barstool for threats they got. But it's more realistic now than it was a month ago, right?
Right.
So that was it. And then in my mind, I saw Kevin tweeting about like Julia Black or something after. So I said, all right, it's done. It's all over. And then 4 hours later, which means like, I wonder, was Kevin like seething over this all day?
He had to been.
Where he was like stomping around his apartment because the Mets were on when he tweeted this next one.
Is this the response to Made Man Minahan?
He's just getting into it with him. So, I mean, this must have been important because there are, hundreds of thousands of Mets fans turning to Kevin for pitch by pitch, excruciating analysis of Mets baseball. And they're like, what is this? Why is he getting mad at Blind? What is this Blind Mike tweet about? So what was this one?
Made Man Minahan said, what Blind Mike said went right over your head. Shocker. He's not saying you're Alex Jones. He's pointing out the fact that you automatically prejudge topics and take whatever side will get you the most clicks, grossly simplifying complex issues in the process.
And he says, no, he is saying I'm Alex Jones.
It's not a complex issue. This is KFC. It's not a complex issue that I simplified. It's simple issues like that morons like Blind Mike complicate by somehow relating it to inconsequential bullshit like stand-up comedy and jokes on Twitter. Also, if I was out for clicks, I would defend it, which is what Mike is doing.
Let's go piece by piece here. Because it is a complicated issue. That's why it was resolved in a courtroom. I mean, it's not that cut and dry. They had to litigate over it. So it is kind of a complicated issue, and it seemed like based on a lot of the replies, a lot of Kevin's followers agree with me. So maybe they're all fucking idiots like me, but
it was like 90-10 support of your side.
But there's and you know what? If you were asking me, this is where like KFC thinks I'm like this, like dense. I'll never give an inch on my argument guy. Like I said, when people say like, "Hey, you don't know anything about defamation law. Here's how it works," I'll say, "Oh, okay, that makes a little more sense." Or if you say, "Hey, suing over the parents that have lost children are a lot different than Julie DeCaro getting mean DMs." I understand that. That's an argument. I would say that you kind of have to discount the tragic aspect of the Sandy Hook shootings.
Right.
Like you can't take that into consideration because it's a courtroom. You can't by emotions go, well, if that was my kid, I'd be pissed. Yeah, no shit. Those parents should hate Alex Jones.
Yes.
They should fucking despise Alex Jones and sue the shit out of him. I'm not being critical of them. Fucking go for it. I don't necessarily think a court should have judged in their favor. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about, so I could be wrong.
If this included no telling them to go threaten the family, then I don't think anything really should have happened. He's just an asshole.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If Alex Jones was advocating violence, then this would be, in my opinion, a totally different argument. And I don't like Alex Jones as a guy. That's the other thing is like Kevin thinks I'm like this crazy right winger. I've never listened to Alex Jones unless he's in the news. The only clips I've ever heard of Alex Jones are from Rogan or because he's in the news.
I was going to say the only time I've ever listened to him in full is on Rogan.
Right.
It's amazing.
I don't listen to him at all. And I think he's a nut. And from what I've heard, kind of like a genuinely bad guy. Like I saw his wife or his ex-wife somewhere. She said she didn't really want to get into too much detail, but was insinuating some sort of domestic violence. So if that's true, like a genuine piece of shit. So like I'm not some Alex Jones groupie that's taking my top off, swinging my shirt around, rooting for AJ. It's fucking KFC doesn't know me, and he thinks that he does. And it'll come up in a minute where he refers to, this has been going on for a decade. Kevin doesn't know me at all. 7 years ago, I started a Barstool. We exchanged a few DMs then. Like I said, he was very nice to me. I've met him in person once at Barstool headquarters. He was nice to me there. And that's pretty much the extent of our communication. We're not, brothers that fight all the time. He doesn't know a fucking thing about me. He is taking shit that he's seen on Twitter or that he's heard on Kirk's show and just using that as his argument. Like, because I guess he thinks it'll bother me or something. So I replied to Kevin's tweet. What did I say? I forget.
You're reacting to a 3-week-old clip.
Yeah.
That you didn't post. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. So he says I want attention. That was the other thing.
Right.
He says I want attention. Like I'm going for clicks. I didn't post the video. I know. Right. Of course I want I think anyone that does a podcast wants attention. So I love it. But I wasn't saying, Kevin, please react to this. Would you please? Please, Kevin. I'm sure when the episode came out, I tagged him, and that was it. Kevin never brought it up again. In fact, I'm pretty sure Matt sent me a clip of that I chose not to post because I was like, I don't want to make it a big issue.
He texted me too, dude. He wants KFC to burn.
Oh, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, tell him to get back here. We need our soldiers, for Christ's sake.
He fucking was like, I'm gonna cut all these clips, making them look bad. And I'm like, all right, hold off till the show tomorrow.
Oh, that's the thing. I don't like this shit. Like I'm sure it's good for the podcast or whatever, or maybe it's not because I don't think this is a fun episode necessarily. Like I'd like to have fun with this, but it's so fucking annoying. Like I hate this stuff, and the reason I don't like when Kevin brings it to Mike's a zero or a loser. Well, Kevin, the argument was if you told me, hey, today you have to defend your personality and your podcast, I'd say no, thank you, please. I'm okay. I don't like defending myself. I have a lot of internal issues with that stuff, which is my problem. But I didn't set out to be like, I'm a better podcaster than KFC. I think I'm starting to become one just because his brain is so scrambled. He had a 1,000,000-mile lead on me, and I was a KFC fan. Like I used to listen to KFC radio. Eventually, I stopped listening because I was like, it's weird to listen to a guy that hates me. For a reason I don't really understand. So eventually I stopped listening, but I liked KFC. And then when I saw that Nikki Glaser thing, I was like, oh, what is he doing? And I was busting his balls about it, thinking he would kind of eat shit on it. And he got mad about it. He was like, how dare you make fun of me for a thing that a totally separate, unbiased podcast spent 25 minutes trashing you over.
Kevin, if PGA clips this, hi, I'm the handsome one in the corner. I was just curious if you'd come on this program and hash it out. Come on, it'll be fun. How's that? Was that good?
Don't clip that.
That'd be good.
PGA.
That was good, right?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I liked the people lobbying for you. They're saying, support a young man with diabetes or whatever they said. That was...
that's a very good show. I got made fun of a lot. I'm a pink gay racist on that show.
Yes. All true. Yeah. 3 for 3.
Yeah.
So, so I said, you're pointing out a 3-week-old clip that I didn't post. I don't know how I'm the one seeking attention. And then what's the next sentence that I said?
You're mad I called you a phony. You were triggered by a cockroach and you look silly.
Yeah. So guys, you may remember way back from Kevin's first tweet or second tweet, I guess, in this saga. You may remember that he called me a loser cockroach. Remember that? It's hard to remember because I talked about it like minutes ago. So if you tweeted it hours ago, it must be even harder to remember. I don't even know how you'd keep it in your mind for that long. But he called me a cockroach. And then this is his reply to that. Because here's what Kirk always pointed out about KFC. Big Minute fan.
Yep.
Maybe the biggest. And he knows that, the woe is me reaction has been a thing with me. He knows I've been called a loser before. And I think he might know that I've been called lazy before. Let's see if he uses any of those bullets in this next tweet.
It doesn't appear. I bet he doesn't listen that much anymore. He doesn't call in anymore or anything. So I don't think he's quite.
I think that's clear from this tweet. I'm surprised he didn't say, just go to Steve's B&B. What other old references did you make?
Who'd want to go there? It's the first time I saw the clip. and I think you're an absolute
Hold on. So what?
Yeah.
I still didn't post it, you dumb fuck. I don't care if you saw it in 3 years. The attention-seeking argument that you made is wrong. So if we're calling people morons, you're 0 for 1 there.
It's the first time I saw Professional Golf Association Minahan's clip.
Yeah, he thinks it's the tour. He's very anti-live.
Yeah.
So he's like, listen, if the PGA has put their stamp of approval on it, then it must be real.
It's the first time I saw the clip, and I think you're an absolute idiot and lazy for comparing my behavior to Alex Jones in any way, shape, or form.
I'm curious what's lazy about it.
Hold
on, let me try something. Because it was very... He might be right, because it was super easy to say that KFC, as a content creator, should be worried about that Alex Jones thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was... I didn't break a sweat. So I'm trying to think...
Sounds like you're napping to me.
Yeah, so let me say... Hold on. Kevin Clancy... Take a sip of... Kevin Clancy's nothing like Alex Jones. Whew, good Lord, that was exhausting. You know, that's a good point. It was the lazy man's way out.
It was the lazy man's way out, being the only person on the internet basically going, I don't think Alex Jones should be completely fucked from this.
Yeah, Kevin, siding with everyone does not take a lot of work. Saying, what can I say to get a few attaboys on Twitter? Except from, by the way, your fans. The only people that disagree with you are the people that listen to your podcast and the people you've siphoned money from with your horseshit comedy show tickets. Oh, wouldn't that be a lovely night in Providence? Watch Feidelberg do all the work. So if you want to talk about lazy, I mean, Feidelberg's the only interesting guy on there. Let's watch KFC take the most popular opinion about some pop culture topic, and then Feidelberg be himself and be funny.
I don't think he's gonna come on anymore.
What a lazy fuck show. Hey, you want to know about lazy, Kevin? Would you rather fight 1 million horse-sized ducks or 1 duck-sized horse? What? I mean, that takes a lot of both intellect and work, hard work, to say, let's play some voicemails and react to them. I like KFC down in the salt mines all day, just harvesting. Would you rather watch a video of your parents having sex or be in the room for it?
It took us 32 minutes, but we got here.
Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the hard work that Kevin's putting in. Hey, the Mets are good this year. Wow. What a hardworking guy. I think the Mets might be better than the Yankees. Oh, my goodness. How have you not broken your back yet, Kevin?
You think talking about the #1 trending story of the day for a minute might get clicks?
Yeah, I think it might. I think doing literally 1 minute of work about the easiest topic to think on that day.
That the Barstool Sports Twitter puts out.
Lazy. You want to know lazy, Kevin? How about watch your colleagues pass you by? Remember when Dan Katz was on KFC radio? You dumb fuck. Does he have your number still, by the way? I know Jay Snowden doesn't. I might be irrelevant, Kevin. I might be a loser, but the CEO of Penn National has to Google both of our names if he wants to find out who we are. You're not getting a lot of calls from the elite at Penn National. How many of those meetings were you in? Were you a big influential voice when they were talking about buying the rest of Barstool? Did you have a lot of say in those meetings? How about this for lazy, Kevin? When you went on Dave Portnoy's show and was like, well, when you left the office, I wanted to take over, but I didn't know if I was allowed to. Just do it, you dumb fuck. You claim to have all these great ideas that you could take over Barstool with. How about doing some of them? Everyone else is leaving. Dan's going to Chicago. Dave's going to Miami. maybe make it yours. Put your stamp on it. Oh, I wear sweatpants. That's crazy. Buy some sweatpants. A hard-working guy. Yeah, so I guess it was lazy of me to say, hey, Kevin, you're wrong. But I don't know what the hard-working equivalent would have been, you know?
And I honestly just have no leg to stand on in this argument.
Now, listen, if you want to sort through my resume, I don't know. I don't know if you could argue that I'm any sort of harder worker than Kevin Clancy. Let's not get, let's not get too into the details here. It was a fun last couple minutes we had. Let's not point out any hard truths. Mike, you do 3 shows a week, one of which is literally just watching Quincy.
You watch TV at 50 years old.
We're paying you to watch a show from 50 years ago. So I understand. My point is, I think podcasting can be inherently, it's not the, not necessarily a blue collar job,
I don't think so.
I guess that's my overall point.
I get home from work and like I'll talk to my wife. She has to like work with kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And she just tells me how her day was. I'm like, geez, I hit record like 4 times today.
Literally, Alba, we both work from home, quote unquote. And Alba's in like the room. We use a spare bedroom as the office, and that's the room next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she is literally in a meeting right now while I'm yelling about sweatpants. Well,
you have to start coming here, right? Right?
It is funny though. Remember when Dan Katz was on KFC Radio? A lot of people forget about that.
That was what? Should I just read his text? But I don't think he'll care.
Who?
Matt's. They were very mean.
Not if it's not something he wouldn't want on air. No.
I'll find out. I'm just say, can I read these?
Well, yeah. So I don't know where KFC gets off talking about lazy, watching everyone he's worked with pass him by as he just collects the same checks as the guys who are still working for it.
I will say though, his show is still in like the top 100.
Again, if this stuff never existed, like I like Kevin for the most part. And like I said the last time we were talking about him, that's why I feel weird like criticizing his work or anything like that. Like I used to enjoy his podcast. He's doing what I would want to do. He's having comedians on. People were saying on Twitter yesterday, they were like, it was funny because this one guy, I'm pretty sure he was kidding, but like there's a point to me. When someone makes a complete joke, but you're like, there's a bit of wisdom in there.
Yeah.
Where he goes, I think if you two fellas sat down in a room, you'd start seeing eye to eye. And I was like, I actually think you're right. Because here's the thing. Kevin goes off, you're a moron, you're a loser, you're a cockroach. And I remember Feidelberg did this to me once on KMS. And it was about, it might have been about Shane Gillis. I can't really remember. But whatever it was, Feidelberg said something on Twitter, and I said it was that was a shitty take for a content creator to have, basically, whatever it was. And Feidelberg was like, you're a fucking moron, this and that. And then Kirk had him on like the next day. And so I explained my side, and Feidelberg was like, oh, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
So I really think like if Kevin understood what I was talking about, he would probably not agree with me, but at least know where I was coming from. The problem is he goes right to you're a cockroach, you're a moron.
But I also don't think he means those. He says those words so often. I think he means like it's very minor.
Again, you want to bring lazy up again. He called me a cockroach 3 years ago. You're using the same insult over and over again, Kev. We got it.
To be fair, cockroaches can survive anything. So
I understand it. No, I got the analogy, Craig.
You're still here.
Yeah.
3 years later.
So Oh yeah, so he goes. Basically, he said, "I'm playing a pity party." Right? Could you read his tweet again? I'm sorry. Where he called me lazy.
It's the first time I saw the clip, and I think you're an absolute idiot and lazy for comparing my behavior to Alex Jones in any way, shape, or form. And then, of course, you capitulate and play the pathetic card of "I'm a nobody. Why do you care?" Same loser playbook for a decade now.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Again, with a decade, I never really got into fights with them when I was an intern.
Your response though was great.
I think I would still be if I was getting into fights as an intern. I think I'd still be there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I sucked when I was an intern because I wasn't myself. Like, literally, I still don't know if I've completely found my voice, but like, I'm a little more confident now. Back then, zero confidence, didn't know who I was, and I was kind of doing what Kevin's doing here. Oddly enough, Kevin has devolved over time. But like, when I was an intern, I would try and be like Kevin or like Portnoy or whatever. So like I'd be on Twitter going at, ESPN about Deflategate or whatever was happening. But I never got into it with them. So again, he's just taking like something that Portnoy has said before and applying it to this argument, even though it doesn't apply at all. And the way it applies less is by him saying like, "Oh, here's the pity party. Here's the classic playbook of Blind Mike saying, I am insignificant. Why would I care?" To which I pointed out, I'm quoting you, Kevin. I'm literally, you said this like an hour ago. Remember?
That's why your line was much better than "I'm quoting you, Kevin."
Okay, go ahead.
I was quoting you, Kevin. I think if we had Nikki Glazer explain it to you, you'd see my point.
Oh, damn, girl, that's a good ass point.
Hey, girl, your voice is crispy.
Girl, you wash them pants with Windex because I can see myself in them.
Yeah.
Oh, your legs must be tired because you've been running through my mind all day.
Who taught Kevin?
Oh, thank you for mediating, Nikki. I finally sees my side.
Who taught Kevin these catchphrases? Oh wait, no,
I had to channel a kid Alvin that I worked with at Entercom to get into that. A little character work there. All right. Well, is that pretty much it?
Yeah.
Why didn't he respond to that? I don't understand.
Why didn't he respond to that?
Yeah.
Probably
He
because
could have called me a moron again. Wouldn't that have been fun?
That would have been great. I do want to point out that this video that PGA put to start all this has almost 115,000 views.
Yeah, I was wondering, is that, and this is not even close to a shot, I'm genuinely asking, is that like a normal KFC tweet? 100,000 views? Because that felt like a lot.
Well, I think it's just because it involved this program. We're like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, right. I don't think a clip of this show has ever gotten that many views.
Yeah, maybe one
we're more in the 2,000 range.
We hit 10. We're like, wow, what a great day.
What happened? Yeah, I'm looking at, I'm Googling Twitter algorithm.
Did Elon Musk like this or something?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he's like a full-time clip guy of like everything now.
A full-time what guy?
Clip guy, PGA.
I know he's doing everything. He's doing Kirk's show, Portnoy's show.
Yeah,
he's got a lot. He wears a lot of hats. This guy.
It was good. It was really good of me. I'm glad that my face was in a video that got that many views, and I really shined.
What an honor. It wasn't a cat. I'm told that other podcasts, like when they try to get advertising or something, this is something I have not taken this advice at all, but because I don't know what I would promote. But other podcasts send out to advertisers like a sizzle reel of some kind. And I think if we were doing that of Craig's performance, that clip would be perfect. Like, this is what he contributes to the program.
Remember when we were teasing that I was quitting like a year ago?
No, I'm fully aroused now. When was that?
I forget I think I was just missing an episode. It was the first time.
And I just said, I got you.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, well, I guess we'll talk whatever. We ended the show and I got blown up with people being like, are you quitting? Blah, blah. And I just didn't respond. and PGA made like a 2-minute, 20-second. I don't know if it still exists, but there was like a sizzle reel of my quote best moments.
Didn't Portnoy say about Deke Zucker, like the hardest working guy at Barstool who's never worked for Barstool?
Oh, easily, probably.
That's PGA Minahan for this program.
Oh yeah. It was. I was like, I don't remember saying any of this.
So that was pretty much that. Here's the weird thing. Like, you guys know I don't have tremendous confidence in my abilities. If this was like, hey, sell your podcast versus KFC's podcast, I'd say no. I don't feel like doing that. But I kind of think I won this argument.
Oh yeah, that was decided before we even recorded today.
Like, he's calling me a moron, but it's to all his followers, and they don't seem to agree with him.
Yeah, then they'll be like, "Oh, well, you talked about us for like 40 minutes." It's like, okay, you would have done the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah, right. No, I'll see some people like stop using KFC. It's like, okay, well, tell KFC to stop using Pete Davidson and Kanye West and fucking what's his name? Pedro Alvarez or whatever the fuck. Pete Alonso. That's his name.
Pedro Alvarez. That's the guy.
I got the initials right.
Yeah, that's true. It's a great point.
Yeah, I mean that by the way doesn't really hold water, and I'm sure I've said this to other people like when trying to insult them. But the idea of like stop using me for create your own. But you know who gets that a lot is Carl.
Studio 550, maybe.
I don't think you understand my point. Anyways, Carl from Who Are These Podcasts? Oh, by the way,
he gets that a lot.
By the way, I'll get to that in a second. If you're new here, blindmike.net. Please go subscribe. You can find the Patreon there, or if you just want to support the show for free, with all the links to the podcast are up there. Subscribe to the YouTube if you'd be so kind. All that fun stuff. And then, like I said, we have a Patreon as well. If you'd like to go above and beyond, that's blindmike.net. And Craig is the same at verygoodshow.org.
Yeah, live stream tonight on Patreon, 8 o'clock.
So what I was saying with my buddy Carl. Oh, that the reason it clicked in my mind. I was just on Royce Lopez's show this morning.
Yeah, to say like Dr. Poopy or something. What the fuck was it?
I'm sorry?
I feel like you retweeted something that said Dr. Poop. Did I misread it? I couldn't.
Oh, I don't know. I retweeted Royce, I think. He does some weird shit with his name on Twitter. I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Oh no, this episode that you were on, episode 896, King Poop.
King Poop. What did we talk about?
I don't know.
I don't remember that. But yeah, I was. If you want to check out Daywave, I was just on there. And you know what's funny?
Oh God, sorry.
What?
Should I clip? I don't know what. PGA already got us.
Well, just ignore it until KFC reacts.
Okay.
No, let's play. What did we say? This is a nice rewind.
Shit. Hold on. I just lost it. I'll find it real quick.
So I was on Daywave Radio, and you would. I texted him or DM'd him like 2 weeks ago, and said, "Hey, like I'm usually on KMS Wednesday mornings. So this week they're not on, obviously. So I messaged Royce and just said, hey, if you'll have me on Wednesday, I'd love to do it." And he said, yeah, no problem. But if you watch the show, you think, because I made a joke that I begged my way on. So if you watch it, you think that I'm saying I begged to be on to talk about Portnoy because that's the first thing he talks about.
Of course it was.
And I kind of defended him. Like I kind of had Portnoy's side because they're buddies with Alex Stein.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Portnoy's back a little bit, and then I said after the podcast to one of the guys, I was like, he goes, "Hey man, it was really good to have you on because otherwise it would have just been us bashing Portnoy. So it was good to get like the other perspective on." And I was like, "Oh well, if that ever gets back to Portnoy, that's not how he'll see it." And he doesn't know that reference, so he's just like, "Oh no, man, you really defended him." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that doesn't matter."
That actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
So there's two PGA clips. One from like 40 minutes ago. I didn't even realize.
Okay.
Let's see.
Picture going around of him dressing up like Jamie Kennedy in Malibu's Most Wanted. Oh,
So
okay. So that's just us setting it up. That's not too bad.
That one's fine. This is from 3 minutes ago after you
Okay.
were kind of nuclear. So I'm curious what this one is.
And I was a KFC fan. Like I used to listen to KFC radio. Eventually I stopped listening because I was like, it's weird to listen to a guy that hates me. We don't need to, for a reason I don't really understand. So never mind.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the fireworks. Maybe he has a soul.
So my point about Carl from Who Are These Podcasts? People go at him all the time and say like, you're just successful off of other people's content. And it's like, no, he's taking shit and making it funny the same way you're reacting to news or reacting to movies or reacting to, whatever it is you're talking about. That's what Carl's doing with other people's podcasts.
Right.
So like this idea of like, oh, you're just using, you wouldn't get clicks without me. It's like, well, I'm talking about a public figure. I'm not doing anything dirty here, How long have we been going?
It won't look that way, will it, though, in the end?
No, it certainly won't.
We're at 51 minutes.
Oh, good God. Did I talk about this too long? We talked about this so long that we might have to do another episode on Friday just because I don't want this to be the free episode.
Yeah, right.
Well, we'll see.
That should
speaking of interactions, never mind. I'm trying to think if I should talk about this. I had some person like I was at Bill Burr the other night.
Oh, if you wanna do one on Friday, we should probably save that.
Okay. All right. We can talk about that later.
Because I went to the other Bill Burr show, so we can compare notes.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing you didn't have the same experience I did afterwards, but
probably.
I don't know. What do you think of this Alex Stein Portnoy thing?
I talked about it on Jerry's show.
What's the consensus? Like, I haven't gotten
the overwhelming consensus is that Portnoy is correct, but handling it so poorly.
Okay, because that was kind of my argument with Royce.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. My argument was the reverse. I'm sorry. I don't think Portnoy is correct.
I think he's correct for taking it down because they had some sort of arrangement with Penn that they won't joke about that shit. So that's why he had to take it down.
Yeah. But I guess my question is there's a lie somewhere in here because Portnoy said my guy posted that without watching the full video, referring to Gaz, I think.
Yep.
He said Gaz posted without watching the full video. They played me the video on Royce's show today, and I don't know, 30 seconds in, they talk about gambling. Yeah, so what did you watch the first 10 seconds and repost it to an account with millions of followers?
That was for sure a Gaz excuse.
It had to be, well, not just an excuse, a clear lie.
Oh, yeah, but I mean.
So, like, I get the whole gambling thing, but Alex Stein's video was not anti-gambling, I don't think. I mean, that was part of it, where he does kind of acknowledge a true, genuine, unavoidable pitfall of gambling is that it's destroyed families and lives. If you are addicted to it, but people should be able to do it, in my opinion. And it didn't seem like Alex Stein was taking a particularly hard stance. So I don't know why Portnoy was going at him so hard. I didn't really get it.
Matt just responded to me, by the way. He sent me a picture of him in KFC and said, I want you to have this because I need to get ahead of it before it gets out.
That's good.
He went to one of his live shows.
It's good that he's digging all the skeletons out of his closet.
I can't wait to find what he's trying to hide.
Is he wearing a do-rag? And
he's looks like a minor league baseball hat and some beer shirt.
So what? Portnoy going after Alex Stein, we said on Daywave today, I was like, he's kind of battling. It's weird to watch him battle with kind of a younger Portnoy in a way.
Yeah, I don't find Alex Stein that, like, his videos are too long for my attention span. I mean, they're funny, but, like, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Alex Stein. The first time I ever heard him was on Ryan Wong's podcast, and I liked him on that. I thought he was funny and interesting. And then the second time I think I encountered him was that AOC video.
That was funny.
Well, so I just didn't get it really. I
He
was
was
like,
just-
so he's just like sexually harassing her. I don't. Maybe I just didn't get it, and that's not a criticism of him because it got super popular and people seem to enjoy it. So I just didn't get it. So I guess I'm saying I don't know how I feel about him because he seems more in on the joke than like Gavin McGinnis was.
Oh yeah, no, he completely comes across like he is joking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where like Gavin McGinnis and Milo Yiannopoulos, it started as a joke and then they became those guys. Alex Stein doesn't seem like he's crossed that line yet, I don't think.
No, not yet, but once he gets enough right-wing love, he will.
Probably. But for now, he's just a troll on the internet, which like Portnoy was.
Yeah.
And Portnoy now has to answer to, Penn National and stockholders and shit like that. So it's funny to watch him deal with what he once did to other people and be like angry about it.
Yeah, Jerry said today, he's like, if Portnoy just came out and said, I got rid of this because I got $500 million, so I don't care.
Right. Right. Like, hey, my bad, Alex Stein, but I run a gambling company.
That's basically how it started.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then he just kept like crying about shit. And I'm like, what? Does he not fucking know who he's talking to at all?
Portnoy did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Alex Stein was just like, this is great publicity.
He's loving it. That's where I'm like, Dave should know that he's giving this kid. It's like I said about KFC. I'm like, is Dave purposely trying to help out this kid? Because he wrote the fucking playbook, for Christ's sake. And then Jason Whitlock gets involved, who I kind of like Jason Whitlock because he says shit that, well, he's in a weird place now where Jason Whitlock used to say shit that other people wouldn't.
He's a black conservative, so he gets,
Yeah, and it was even more interesting because he was on ESPN.
Right.
But then I think when he went to like Outkick and, kind of went into that world, then it's less interesting because it's just like, oh, everyone there does that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he lost his appeal because he wasn't railing against the entity that he was working for,
Right. Exactly.
Portnoy's one. Well, actually, this wasn't even a great reply because he replied to Whitlock and just said, "You're fat."
Yeah.
Which is like, it's kind of funny, but it's also like, so you're conceding the argument. Like, you're letting him win the argument. Then.
I'm waiting for KFC to reply that it's lazy.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, that wasn't lazy at all.
And then I was trying to explain to Jerry too, who he just kept yelling at me, and I'm like, because I kept explaining that those Team Portnoy releases are jokes.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah. Well, so they read. It's interesting to watch with people when you're like in a different world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, because I don't know Royce and those guys that well, and they know I worked for Barstool, but they don't know anything about like my experience there or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting to watch them read it because they were like reading his jokes and just saying, Dave, this is like tired. We've heard it a million times.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You're a bro. You're a 3-time bee sting survivor. We've heard it before. And I was like, oh, when you're not so locked into that, when you're looking at it from a different perspective, you're like, oh, that is kind of, dare I say, lazy.
Don't say it.
No, I wouldn't say it.
But I was explaining to Jerry, he's like, I can't believe this is like what he responds with. And I'm like,
oh, Jerry thought he was serious.
I had to explain to him before the show, during the show, and after the show. I'm like, it's a joke. It's written by this guy named Tommy Smokes, who I don't find particularly funny. But
I wish I knew that. God damn it.
Yeah, he writes, dare I say, all of those releases.
I would have been much more critical had I known.
No, Portnoy doesn't write those.
Oh, okay. I thought he was writing them in the third person. Like, Dave Portnoy has done that, blah, blah, blah.
No. It's the team Portnoy thing. So Tommy would always write the press releases.
Okay. So they read it to me as if Dave wrote it. And that's why I was like, yeah, that is kind of that cheesy that he would do that. Wow, does that make so much more sense? Wow, does that really crystallize? Now, because when they were reading that, I was like, boy, this is hard to defend because there are some cringy moments in here.
That's the whole point, because it's like the Tommy is in love with Dave, but he's
got
not.
it.
Dave.
Okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
Boy, it's all very confusing, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. That is.
I don't know. What do we think of this day? What are the people saying in the chat? Anything?
Chat's been on fire. For real.
By
this
the way,
time.
Box Eating Dad, you've been looking for, faces to fuck. I'm just saying.
He showed up late. Ask what did he miss, and I just commented, "Go back 5 minutes and start there." So I haven't heard from him since.
What? I don't know. What did we do today? Do you think? Because I'm always very. This is why I hate this shit, because I'm not good at it. I don't want to be in battles with people.
Put it out. It's gonna get out anyway.
Oh no, I know that. What I'm saying is do you think we handled it right? I feel like we had some fun with it.
We had fun until you just started laying waste to KFC radio and everything.
Which is funny, because now that'll get clipped, and if he reacts to it, it's like, fine. I won't hide behind I'm kidding, but they do a good show,
Very good. Ben in the chat says today was Blind Mike's Eminem final rap battle moment. Your coworker's passing you up. That was a dagger.
I enjoy picturing mentioning both my name and Kevin's name to Jay Snowden and provoking the same look of puzzlement. Who do you mean?
That'd be great though. Blind Mike sounds familiar.
Well, all right, folks. By the way, what we should PGA, if you get here, what you should be finding is that Quincy clip.
Yes, I need.
That's what we need.
I need that. I need that so bad.
Yeah, battered boys are my business.
Battered children. That's my company and my. It's just a tagline. He just yelled that. Some lady looked at me. The fun you can have here.
Oh, and also, the Why You Laughing will record the free one tomorrow will be Robert Schimmel, who I think is an underrated guy who deserved, an episode. And the evening episode will be on Patreon only. Will be David Tell's Skanks for the Memories.
I think my favorite hour ever made.
I finally threw Craig a bone. I think he's been asking for this one since we started. So
I've been patient.
Yeah, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. Don't worry.
I'm cutting the clips after this, and there's one that better be in there.
Well, feel free to add anything that I missed.
It's just one that I find so funny.
Okay. All right.
The traveling one about the globe, is that in there?
I think so.
Okay.
It should. If it's not, make sure it is. But I think so.
It's the best joke on the special.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, gang. Another cathartic experience for us here.
I think so.
All right. See you later.
Until then, have yourself a great day, and as always,